So for today's video, we're going to be taking Midrange Tribunal for a spin, and we're just going to dive right in. Just like all the other videos, we're going to play 2 games, see how they go. Midrange Tribunal is something that I think has a lot of tools that make it competitively viable for a mid-range deck. You get ward creatures, you get, meat in terms of the traditional endurance stuff, so think like mid-range Sorcerer, but then also tacking on all the good stuff that is in willpower, specifically for mid-range. So you get things like Hive Defender, Cloudrest Illusionist. As you can see, because we get the class cards, Edict of Azura, we're actually going to keep this. Grizzly Gourmet. Here I am trying to talk about like why adding willpower is good for this, and then we get a whole array of options. So we are going first against Halalu. Now, normally I like to fight for field lane, but because Halalu likes to run a lot of charge creatures, we're actually going to start Shadow and then go from there. Because unless there's something big, if they bait to the Shadow, we have the Gourmet follow-up. And if it's big, then we can go the other way.
Wait! Did you hear that?
Alright, so Daggerfall is also an option there. That would fight really hard, but I really feel like getting rid of this is a big deal.
I will prepare something special for them.
We're gonna go and do that. We know that he's gonna get this trade here. The big concern is whether or not they have a pit line, because they did set this up, so they could very well drop the defenses here.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Have business with House
Nope, they're
Halalu.
just gonna do plot things. Just good old plot doing plot things. Alright, we're gonna try to fight for field now that we got a big-bodied, dapper defender. Well, that was a very good zero-cost card for my opponent to have received. It's just Edict. So, my concern with playing Exemplar there is if I play Exemplar, technically I'm winning that battle, but it takes any combat trick for me to fall behind. So Divine Fervor, for example, would have meant that I go from getting the value trade to my opponent getting the value trade. And that doesn't feel very good. So we could develop Exemplar now. I actually rather like... doing something like this. Lawkeeper also could have went field, and we could have just went and contested, maybe use Edict afterward, but part of me also wants him to give me a card here. Ideally, I'd like to find a good 2 or 3 drop to pair with that Edict. Like that. That looks pretty good. Puts us well on the way to taking back field lane. We could also
the forest will not suffer your presence.
Pair that with the assassin. Wow, he is very afraid.
You must be cleansed.
Actually, I think we're just gonna do that. Play the assassin. We're not likely gonna get the rally there, but it does help us contest field.
The day is mine.
Yeah, not a shocking outcome by any means. This actually becomes a pretty solid exalt for us, assuming everything lives, because this would allow this to drain for 5, while also pumping the squad.
The
Yeah,
tribunal
I think that's what we're gonna do here. A couple of different options, but I really like
the tribunal's power.
I like the idea of getting this bad boy drained.
Mother of mud. Sheol take you.
Kind of changes the race into our favor. So this card could become problematic, but we loaded up on options. Options are always great to have. Jumping ahead in the health lead,
Training is over.
always great to have.
Time.
We know that they've got some more Nord trickery coming our way.
I'm ready for anything.
Alright, so they will clear that out, but they're going to have to spend some resources to do so. So we do have that going for us.
Of course, I'm on your side.
Alright, so Iron for sure gets an edict if we decide to go that route. But we do have other options. Could also just edict and exemplar. Because edict here is a pretty solid move for us. I would like to get rid of that, but I also feel like getting rid of this is pretty important. So here's what we're gonna do.
Light of the three.
First, let's see if we have to deal with any prophecies, and we do not. We're gonna go ahead and take this trade.
We'll never give
We're gonna go ahead and drop an exemplar over there, and we're gonna edict this. Gives us, I think, the best board presence. Again, we're slowly chipping away at their health, so tempo is currently in our favor.
Chimera, guide us!
time to fight.
Just tell me who to stab.
Interesting. I think I would have tried to do that stuff before the fervor, because you never know what you draw, but good news is for this to trigger,
I will have
still has to lose at least one of them.
Time to fight.
So we at least have that going for us. That'll trade here.
You can't defeat me.
Can at least peel this off with High King next turn.
Wait! Did you hear that?
Should we so choose. Which is looking pretty enticing. After High King, our options are we could also play a Dark Guardian, we could tome this, because then that survives and value trades here and still leaves the guard, or we could play an Assassin and a Harpy. Harpy would probably shackle this to promote that. Assassin would be over here for another removal. That's probably the best. Gives us the best long-term game plan. Also saves the tome in our hand for reach. So I do feel like that is going to be our best option.
I hate this crowd. It's damned
So
uncomfortable.
we're going to go ahead and nuke that, so we don't have to worry about that any longer. We're going to go ahead and shackle that, and drop an assassin, and pass. So any sort of chargers, things like that, obviously take this out and we don't get that trade. That is the one potential drawback.
I'll take them with me!
Nothing personal.
We're gonna close the gap a bit on damage, but not so much that I'm worried.
Don't underestimate.
You can't
Iron getting
defeat
back
me.
edicts is oh, that's fun face. Iron getting back edicts is really good because we can pull either of those off if we want. Wow. It's a big racer. And that should be it for us. That is, in fact, a good game. So this will go ahead and clear this out for us. This will bring us down to 6. And the power of the tome gives us the reach to go over top. So, game 1 is done. Go ahead and mark that down in the old deck tracking. And we will try this again. There's a lot of lines of play that come up with Midrange Tribunal because, again, there's a lot of tools available, so sometimes you can go aggressive like I did. We probably would have been safe fighting for board as well, though the Cliff Racer was kind of problematic. That was a big bird. Puddle Glum? Interesting name. We're going to be going first against Scout. So is this traditional control Scout? Is it Ramp Scout? I think we're going to ship that back. We have a 2-drop. Sometimes Scout runs Fighters Guild recruits and the like, so I think we'll keep that.
What have we here?
Alright, so we're gonna try to contest field. They could ring out a sanctuary pet. Man, sometimes I just don't want to be right. But sometimes I'm right. We're actually still gonna just develop one of these instead of the spirit to try to contest. He can take out one, but now he needs at least something else. Like another sanctuary pet. So now we'll go ahead and take the Firebolt action. We probably would have developed Black Dragon had we not top decked the Firebolt. But the Firebolt was too juicy to ignore. At some point we need to start generating pressure though. We can't outvalue Control Scout long game this way. And that certainly is what this looks like.
The waters of life.
Ah, or ramp, I guess.
Birds move in shadow.
Or ramp, I guess. Question is, do I worry about this having damage on it for a Leaf Lurker or not? And I think the answer is no. I don't think I care. The other question is, do I want to do 3 damage or 1? I think that the 1 is fine. Because by keeping this around, we know that we're just going to turn around and
We'll never
develop something with guard. This saturates and it's the bigger one, so that's the play. I mean, we don't care about the Leaf Lurker either, just because, like, they're not going to Leaf Lurker that if they have it. They're going to Leaf Lurker this. 100%.
Observe.
Now, good chance, however, that that nukes this. Or it could be this now. I mean, or it could be nothing.
Should have been
So
more.
this will go ahead and peel this out of the way for us. How do we want to handle this? I think we probably still take this value trade.
They'll never get the best of us.
This only breaks 1 rune.
The Dark Brotherhood is
I smell the
And we'll
stench
go like that.
of the living.
Little hesitant to play the Stalker there, because I got a feeling we're about to eat a bunch of level 3 drained vitalities, but this still technically survives, and then when this dies, if it lands there, then it ends up not being a useless body. It's the only real train of thought there.
They've no move.
We're kind of hoping that we got lucky and this
Anticipate.
fetched a Soul Tear. Well, it's problematic now because his Soul Tear was leveled up. Oh, no, that's a level 1 Soul Tear. And that will go get Word Wall, which will level up his Drain. I guess he probably wants to just only play level 3 Drain Vitalities, so again, that also doesn't really seem too awesome and in our favor now, does it?
Should have been more worthy.
I am death!
They'll never get the best of us.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Could develop those, but again, we know drains are coming, so I think we just pass.
I'll scout ahead.
I mean, the only other option is maybe it's Dragon Aspect or something, but I feel like they would have already used that if it was Dragon Aspect, so... Yeah, there it is! There's a level 3 drain.
So predictable.
Does he have a second one? Or is it a Leaf Lurker?
They've no move we can't anticipate.
Does he find a second one?
If I fall, the Hist will reclaim me.
I am death!
Well, it's not quite lethal,
They'll never get the best of us.
but it's a good shot. We can get him to 1. I mean, we do have some reach in the deck. We do have Lightning Bolts on Kano. So getting him low does have potential benefits. We do have to worry about bats. We know that they have 1 giant bat here, and Soul Terrors are level 2 now at a minimum. So could go back up to 5 with a bat play. I mean, really, we're just hoping that this is big enough to cause him problems, because without a Leaf Lurker, without something that shackles this or essentially takes care of that, this might be enough to continue threatening outside of more drained vitalities.
I am defeated.
And there you have it. So he must not have had it. That's 2 games, 2 successful games. Hopefully you enjoyed them, enjoyed the list. Thanks for watching as always, and until next time, may you walk on warm sands.